Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. Jack's Abbey up in this piece in the form of their modern Hefe. Full disclosure. This came out of a mix pack. Bunch of lagers. I saw this modern and I saw the script font and I went, there's modern pills in there. I love that beer. I picked that beer up to review. And it was so delicious, I drank all 4 cans of it and never reviewed it. I was like, oh, I'll get the mix pack so I can review it. We're dealing with the Hefe. I didn't realize this was the Hefe, so fun surprise. What do we have on here? It says Bavarian wheat. Bavaria. Inspired innovations. Brews and Pilsner malt. German wheat malt. Krausened and open fermentation. A modern series reimagined classic beer styles inspired by their founder Jack's journey between breweries around the world. Modern Hefe is a Krausened with our house lager yeast and can conditioned for natural carbonation, offering interesting notes of banana and clove. 5% alcohol by volume. I love this design. I wasn't like gaga over Jack Savvy's new branding, but I think they've it's been around long enough. I think they've kind of they've grown into it, matured into it, and some of this branding is actually really cool. I did miss the old ones though. And this one is probably one of my favorite cans they've ever done. Just that combination of the modern font, old school script. It really does make sense what they're trying to do with the beer and the design of the packaging. Vertical barcode so they know what they're doing. Anyway, people who don't know my reasoning behind vertical barcode, who just picked up my channel, like, why is this guy talking about vertical barcodes? We're going to talk about it. You never should put a horizontal barcode on a rounded or curved surface, because scanners read the distance between the spaces of the black, not the actual black itself, in the barcode. And if you put it on a curved surface, hypothetically, it gets scanned wrong. And in the corporate world, barcodes that don't scan are a big deal, and you get fined. Anyway, I work in packaging, by the way. Yeah, that looks like a wheat beer through and through. Actually, you know what? Let's scratch that. That looks like a double hazy IPA. I mean, that's what the original hazy beer was, the wheat beer. But man, if you gave this to me blind without smelling or anything, I'm like, oh, that's a hazy. That's a hazy. I would bet. Maybe I go, oh, maybe there's a wheat beer in there. But man, that is a hazy. So yeah, let's give this a whirl. Let's give it a nose. Heavy on that clove, man. Heavy on that clove. Not in a bad way, but rarely it's more like banana forward with a touch of clove. This is very clove forward with a touch of banana. Now that could flip the script actually in a taste. But you give this a huff, I think then I go, oh yeah, this is definitely a wheat beer because it's giving those kind of the classic combination. Outside of that, a little precursor sweetness, not much as far as bittering goes, a maltiness, weedy / maltiness. It really is that clove leading away with that banana a bit behind. So let's dive in. Cheers, y'all. That's pretty bitter. That's really bitter for a Hefe. I'm not hating on it. It's just really bizarre. Now it's like even messing with my brain more with the hazy IPA thing kind of playing through my brain as far as how it looks. Wow, that's a weird but interesting, tasty beer. So really, you have the mouthfeel, which is, Venn diagrammy with a hazy IPA of a wheat beer. And then you get the classic clove banana mixture. Very much more clove than on the taste. I would say banana and clove are neck and neck actually on the taste. I like that. I'm not a huge fan of cloves, so I like that balance. I like that it gives me an aggressive nose and kind of tails back on the actual taste, so that's fun. But outside of that, there's a decent bittering here. It could be a carbonic acid propping up a bitterness here, but I do think there is a little bit of slightly juicy hop kind of thrown in here too to kind of make your head kind of spin. So this is kind of like a sneaky, hazy wheat beer. Like hazy IPA wheat beer, I mean, because all wheat beers are typically hazy. That's a fun beer. It's a fun beer. Absolutely fun. And really kind of throwing me for a loop here. It says 5%. Right? Did it say 5? 5 on the nose. Can condition, too. This is such a weird beer. So weird. There's really not much else I can say about it other than it. For me, it drinks like a really nicely done Hef. And it also tastes like a really nicely done low ABV hazy that you poured together. I don't hate that. I really don't. There's orange on the taste here. There's those fruit flavors you typically get with a hazy. There is that bitterness there. Again, is it a hop thing? Is it a carbonic acid thing? Is it a combination of both? I think it's the latter. But it really makes for almost like a sneaky, great low ABV hazy. And again, I ain't hating on it. I mean, if you call this their wheat hazy IPA, I'd be like, okay, that kind of makes sense to me, because that's the way this thing looks, and that's the way this thing drinks. It smells like a wheat beer, but it really looks and drinks very much like that mixture. So, I don't know what else to say. What I can say is this. All those flavor profiles that I talked about are there. And it makes for an interesting beer. It's when you throw in your BJCP hat and try to compartmentalize this into one thing. I think that's where it throws you for a little bit of a loop. So somebody who is a diehard BJCP nerd and doesn't like mixing of styles, this might anger you. But I'm not that person. Nor do I think most people are, or at least mentally balanced people are like that. And so, sorry for the dig. But yeah. I think this is very fun, and it's one of those beers where I think a lot of people could dig on it, because I think this would actually bridge the gap even closer for a hazy IPA lover. Now listen, the beer world is shrinking exponentially. It was exploding exponentially in the early aughts, mid-aughts, I should say, to the late teens, pre-COVID. And, I had people who, actually actively wanted to get into craft beer, and I said, how would I do that? What's the best way to do that? Like, Bud, light drinkers or whatever. And my classic gateway for them was wheat beer. Wheat beer or, Belgian wheat, just wheat beer in general. So I think it brought familiar flavors and ease of drinkability to it. And then once they, drink a bit of wheat beers and they start dabbling in other things that is not like super aggressively hopped, and kind of bridge up from there. If that world still existed, this would be like the second. I'd be like, okay, drink a bunch of wheat beers, dance around all these wheat beers, have fun with them. Okay, now you want to move over a little bit? Let's start drinking some modern Hef from Jack's Abbey, and this will help bridge that gap closer to an IPA. That's just a cool combination of flavor, and honestly, super surprising. Glad I bought this 4-pack mix pack by accident. Don't think I would have picked this beer up on its own. Honestly, glad I did. Get out of your comfort zone, people. Anyway, so there you go. That's all I got to say. Let's talk about it. This is one of the better wheat beers I've had as of late. Yes, actually, it almost defaults to Mount Rushmore. I don't remember the last time I had a wheat beer. It's one of the more interesting beers, fun beers that I've had as of late. Yeah, still up there, man. If not on Mount Rushmore, it's a very cool flavor combination. There's something so old school, something so new school, but just makes it marry so well together. I dig it. Value and availability, again, it's a Jack's Abbey... 12, 15 or 12, 4. Yeah, like something like that. Is there 4 different beers in here? 4 times 3, 12-pack. There you go. Math is hard. And probably like $20, give or take, off the shelf, and leave you with it. If you like bubbly like this, if you like wheat beers and hazies, you will love this, and anything in between. I think it's a fun combo, and if you have it, I really, really hope you, reach out. Let me know what you think. Let's do that. Let's talk about it. Down there. How about that? Jack's Abbey. Been to the brewery? Have you had any beers? Have you had this beer? All that fun stuff down below. Hopefully you all enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of a surprise beer right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers, all.